And the rule will now be you have to stand if you're out on the field, but if you don't want to do that, you can stay in the locker room. So basically what they're saying is we don't want to see anybody kneeling, sitting, doing anything that's disrespectful. Either come out and be respectful or don't come out at all. That's going to be the tricky thing for them to balance. Roger Goodell actually talked about this earlier today. Here's what he had to say.
We want people to be respectful of the national anthem. We want people to stand. That's all personnel, and make sure that they treat this moment in a respectful fashion.
Wouldn't you love to see one of these NFL owners, when somebody disrespects our flag, to say, get that son of a bitch off the field right now, out, he's fired. He's fired!
It's been a difficult time for our country, in particular, Black people in our country. First, my condolences to the families of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and all the families who have endured police brutality. We, the National Football League, condemn racism and the systematic oppression of Black people. We, the National Football League, admit we were wrong for not listening to NFL players earlier and encourage all to speak out and peacefully protest. We, the National Football League, believe Black lives matter. I personally protest with you and want to be part of the much needed change in this country. Without Black players, there would be no National Football League. And the protests around the country are emblematic of the centuries of silence, inequality, and oppression of Black players, coaches, fans, and staff. We are listening. I am listening. And I will be reaching out to players who have raised their voices and others on how we can improve and go forward for a better and more united NFL family.
Backlash over NFL star quarterback Drew Brees saying he'll never anyone who disrespects the American flag after being asked about the controversy over kneeling during the national anthem. This coming in the wake of the protest over the killing of George Floyd. Steve Olsensami joins us now with more. And Steve, Drew Brees works in an industry where 70% of his co-workers, NFL players, are Black. And he is hearing from a lot of them right now, including his own teammates.
He is, TJ. Some of them are questioning his timing. With everything going on in the world, it is not unreasonable to expect to see more NFL players take a knee during the national anthem this NFL season. And the New Orleans Saints quarterback has some thoughts.
Just a day after New Orleans quarterback Drew Brees shared this post online, #BlackoutTuesday, where he and millions of others around the world shared their support for the protests sweeping through America's streets. He had this to say about the similar protests taking place in his own league.
I will never agree with anybody disrespecting the flag of the United States of America or our country.
Brees says while he understands the racial discrimination that players in the NFL are trying to underline, he says he still doesn't support players kneeling during the national anthem at games.
When I look at the flag of the United States, I envision my two grandfathers who fought for this country during World War II, one in the Army and one in the Marine Corps, both risking their lives to protect our country and to try to make our country and this world a better place. That's what I think about.
Across the sports world and social media, an eruption.
I can't believe that he has this many Black teammates who have helped him throughout his career, and this is where he lands yet still.
With some saying that Brees needs to be fine with this knee if he's opposed to this one. His own teammate, Malcolm Jenkins, didn't mince words.
You're somebody who I had a great deal of respect for, but sometimes you should.
From Richard Sherman over at the San Francisco 49ers, that uncomfortable conversation you're trying to avoid by injecting military into a conversation about brutality and equality is part of the problem. And from LeBron James over in the NBA, you literally still don't understand why Cap was kneeling on one knee. has absolute nothing to do with disrespect of the flag of the United States and our soldiers. It was former San Francisco 49er quarterback Colin Kaepernick who began the silent protest during the 2016 NFL season, during the national anthem. He and the teammates who joined him said they were kneeling to protest racial injustice and unfair policing of black Americans. But a good many fans were offended, saying it felt disrespectful to our nation's veterans.
Receiving heavy boos.
Kaepernick was told the team was releasing him, and he hasn't worked in the NFL since. Nate Boyer is the former NFL long snapper and a United States Army Green Beret who suggested to Kaepernick that he stop sitting and instead use his knee to make his protest. He says he's disappointed that BREES seems to be missing the message.
I hope it was just something that he didn't think about and kind of maybe said too quickly and it wasn't a measured response, but maybe not. Maybe that's just how he feels.
The timing of this. In streets across America, protesters are marching over the same killings and injustices that players in the NFL will no doubt kneel for this coming season. In a statement this morning, BREES says he is sorry. I would like to apologize to my friends, teammates, the city of New Orleans, the black community, NFL community, and anyone I hurt with my comments yesterday. I stand with the black community in the fight against systemic racial injustice and police brutality.
Fans are, of course, divided. Some praising BREES for defending the flag, and others saying that at the very least, he is tone deaf and should retire. TJ.
And this, in some ways, though, makes the point of the protesters. We've been trying to be heard for years. Silently kneeling is what Kaepernick was doing. Nobody was listening. So now, Steve, the protesters have gone out in the streets and have gotten louder because Drew Brees has worked with these players for years, and he still doesn't seem to get the point.
You know, there are a lot of people who would say that you can't be upset with Kaepernick and the protest in the NFL and say that that is objectionable, and then also be upset that people are now rioting and marching in the streets, that this protest was the way to go, people weren't happy with it, and this is what some say you get in response.
Roger Goodell now says the league was wrong with how they handled players' protests. This as the president criticized quarterback Drew Brees for apologizing for his comments about kneeling during the anthem. Well, BREES tonight is responding. Here's CBS's Carter Evans.
I just want you to see in my eyes how sorry I am.
New Orleans Saints quarterback Drew Brees' response came after President Trump tweeted on Friday that Brees should have never apologized. Brees shot back. I realize this is not an issue about the American flag. It has never been. Brees' view now is a reversal from Wednesday.
I will never agree with anybody disrespecting the flag of the United States of America.
Those comments sparked a backlash in a league where nearly 2/3 of the players are black. The league commissioner made his own apology.
We, the National Football League, admit we were wrong for not listening to NFL players earlier and encourage all to speak out and peacefully protest.
But Roger Goodell's video made no mention of Colin Kaepernick, who first took a knee in 2016. He's been out of the league ever since.
Are these just words, or will there be action?
I think there'll be some action. The question is, did the commissioner make his decision based on pressure?
But with the issue of police brutality once again gripping the nation, this week, prominent NFL players made an impassioned plea.
What will it take for one of us to be murdered by police brutality?
An attempt to get the country all on the same team.
This is what we, the players,
Would like to hear you state.
We,
National Football League,
believe Black Lives Matter.
We, the National Football League, believe Black Lives Matter.